They told us it was for our health, a beacon of nutritional guidance designed to lead us to longer, healthier lives. But what if this ubiquitous symbol, the food pyramid, wasn't a benevolent guide to life and vitality? What if, instead, it was a quiet, insidious design for decay, subtly undermining our well-being for decades? In 1956, a pivotal year, the U.S. Department of Agriculture unveiled its first iteration of the food pyramid. This diagram placed grains, like bread and cereal, at its expansive base, suggesting they should form the largest portion of our daily intake. Conversely, sugar and fat, often demonized, were relegated to the very top, to be consumed sparingly. While the public perceived this as a straightforward guide to nutrition, a scientific framework for healthy eating, powerful corporations saw something else entirely, an opportunity for widespread obedience and sustained consumption of their products. For 70 long years, we have, in essence, been digging our own graves with the very knives and forks we use to eat. Every serving chart distributed in schools and doctors' offices, every commercial broadcast on television, every catchy slogan plastered on food packaging, these were not truly designed to nourish us, to provide optimal health. Instead, they were meticulously crafted to keep us dependent, to ensure a continuous demand for processed, often nutrient-poor, foods that benefited specific industries. The food pyramid, as we know it, was never constructed by genuine healers or unbiased nutritional scientists with our best interests at heart. It was, in fact, meticulously built by powerful industry lobbies. The sugar industry, for instance, exerted immense influence, paying significant sums to have its products moved higher up the pyramid, subtly suggesting their increased acceptability. The grain industry, equally powerful, actively worked to suppress and bury any potential warning labels that might deter consumers. And meat, which has historically served as the body's oldest and most potent fuel source, rich in essential nutrients, was paradoxically labeled as dangerous, pushing it to the periphery of a healthy diet. The few courageous scientists who dared to speak out against this manufactured narrative, who presented evidence contradicting the established guidelines, faced severe repercussions. They were systematically silenced, their voices suppressed, and their research initiatives were often defunded, cutting off their ability to continue their vital work. Their groundbreaking findings, which could have illuminated the truth, were buried even deeper than the roots of the very crops they meticulously studied, ensuring that the public remained largely unaware of the dissenting scientific opinions. Look closely at the foundation of this dietary dogma. The base of the food pyramid, heavily laden with grains and starches, is not truly about nourishment in its purest, most vital form. It is, fundamentally, filler. This abundance of carbohydrates keeps you just full enough to maintain your daily routines, to continue working and contributing to the economy. Yet, paradoxically, it also leaves you tired enough, sluggish enough, not to question the system, not to resist the established dietary norms, and not to seek out alternative, more empowering truths about your health. Moving up to the mid-tier of this pyramid, we find dairy products, highly processed oils, and refined sugars. These elements, far from being essential for health, function as the very preservatives of control, keeping us locked into a cycle of consumption and dependence. And then, at the very apex, we find meat, natural fats, and unrefined salt, the forbidden energy sources. These are the foods that truly awaken the body, ignite vitality, and provide sustained power. These are the very nutrients that they, the architects of this system, warned you about, precisely because they empower you to break free from their carefully constructed narrative. For many years, I diligently followed the dictates of the food pyramid, believing it was the path to health. I meticulously counted my calories, obsessing over numbers, yet I failed to recognize the invisible chains that bound me to a system designed for dependence. It wasn't until I made the conscious decision to quit, to abandon those prescribed guidelines, and to eat like a human again, reconnecting with ancestral dietary wisdom, that a profound transformation began. Initially, my body rebelled, adjusting to the sudden shift, but then, miraculously, it resurrected, shedding years of accumulated fatigue and illness. With this radical shift in my diet, a profound sense of energy returned, surging through my veins like a forgotten river. Mental clarity, once elusive, became a constant companion, sharpening my focus and perception. And the hunger I began to feel was no longer a physical craving for food, but an insatiable, burning desire for truth, for understanding the hidden mechanisms that had shaped our collective health for so long. The food pyramid, in its true essence, was never designed to help us live longer, more vibrant lives. Its underlying purpose was far more sinister, to ensure we died slower, prolonging a state of chronic illness and dependence. However, the Earth itself, with its ancient wisdom, still remembers the old menu, the original blueprint for human sustenance. It continues to grow in silence, offering its bounty to those who are willing to listen and learn. Wild herbs, nutrient-dense roots, and vital minerals. These represent the forgotten language of survival, the original pharmacopoeia and food source of humanity. Nature's design for sustenance was inherently circular, a regenerative cycle of life and growth, not a rigid, hierarchical triangle. We, as a society, replaced this vibrant, life-giving garden with a metaphorical grave, a system that slowly diminishes our health. And yet, we had the audacity to call it guidance, a path to well-being. The time has come. The pyramid, this symbol of dietary deception, has fallen, its false promises crumbling into dust. The very soil beneath our feet is speaking again, whispering ancient truths about nourishment and vitality. If you truly desire to live, to thrive with authentic health and energy, then you must stop climbing the ladder of conventional wisdom. Instead, you must start digging, delving deeper into the Earth's wisdom and your own innate understanding of what truly sustains you. This profound journey of uncovering hidden truths, of questioning established norms, was Revelation 4. The food pyramid was a funeral program. Every revelation, every unveiling of a deeper truth demands not just an audience, but a witness, someone to acknowledge, to understand, and to share the profound implications of what has been revealed.